I think you're probably best suited for chief engineer out of anything on there. Maybe also boatswain, but we're not trying to fight, so hopefully we're not going to get hit. So boatswain, I don't know, would do much. I think chief engineer would do more.
Yeah, right now I think we should really pursue the let's just go faster option.
Anything speed and evasive is what we need to figure out.
Yeah, and Oscar, you have a tactics of 1?
Correct.
I also have a tactics of 1.
Yeah, I have a wisdom bonus though, so that makes it
a 2.
like,
basically.
yeah, that makes a huge difference.
And I do not have a wisdom bonus, so yeah, that's probably smart. And I was looking at comm officer, and I didn't really read through a whole lot on this yet.
Dante, come on.
I think that could help us get away though with the comm officer. There's like
yeah, so I will explain also how kind of shooting and attacking works as well. Before the round starts, each party decides what space they will what drive space they will occupy, and what drive space they will fire into. And what that means is, depending on your spike drive level, depends on how you can either be in normal space, spike 1 space, spike 2 space, because you guys have a spike 2 drive. It is harder to shoot at enemies that are in different spaces than what you choose to fire in. And you cannot choose to fire in a drive space that you cannot occupy. So for example, if this guy chasing you doesn't have a drive 2, which he probably doesn't because he's just a fighter, he may not even have a spike drive at all, to be honest with you. It would be incremental penalties for him to fire into higher drive spaces.
okay.
And
then I can make it harder for him to hit us.
Right, you can make it
beyond that
for him to hit you beyond that. Right,
You could make it like nearly impossible.
So yeah, I'm definitely going to take comm officer then.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so just read over the commands that look good, and the CP cost is on the left hand side. The difficulty's there.
Yeah, but I'm trying to. It doesn't. It basically just makes it harder for them to hit us. I don't really have to roll anything for any of these.
Which one?
I just have to spend the points.
No. See the difficulty next to it?
Oh, 6. Okay.
Yeah. And the checks for comm officer are computer intelligence. It says up there in that little blip.
Computer officer.
So, funny story,
Okay.
I would actually probably be the best suited for the comm officer.
And for chief engineer.
Right. You can only choose one per turn. Like, you can switch in between turns. Like,
okay, so
yeah, like he can choose to be like comm officer and do one of those commands, and then choose to be chief engineer the next turn.
I'm gonna. So Oscar is probably just going to suggest that they punch it, and what I mean is he is going to. So it would be helpful if someone was in the engine room, because he is going to reduce the crew points required to do such a thing.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
So probably it would be, if we can coordinate here, it would be very helpful if Boomer was actually in the engine room, because I don't think evasive maneuvers are the correct thing to do here, since we're not really pinned down. We need to just GTF.
Yeah, we're not being fired at yet.
Yeah,
so
anything with speed right now.
Yep.
And then we can go from there.
Yeah.
So
that's
that-
the thing.
then,
that turns within space combat, you guys have a moment to like. All right, what are you gonna do? All right, I'm gonna do this to reduce your CP. Like, you have a minute to talk, because it doesn't happen within like 6 seconds, like ground combat does. There's probably a good 15 seconds in between, 15 to 30 seconds even in between things happening. So, yep.
And I'll probably get on as boatswain for this turn then.
Okay.
Because that's just in case we do get shot at, I can help there.
So again, you guys have 10 crew points active, and you should be able to, if you look at the deck of cards that we've never used right there, that's been sitting there, it's actually on purpose. Look at it, and if you guys click on choose, you should see it should have a bunch of different phases, right? It's got phase 0 all the way through phase 6. You see that? When you pull it off and you put it on one of those occupier fires, it will be face down. See that? So, probably go, since you're the pilot, right? You're probably gonna, like, choose which to occupy and which to fire into. And I'm selecting their cards right now. So, at the beginning of the round, you put your phase and occupy and fire. And I've selected my cards, so you guys can put them down and flip them over, because my cards are selected and I'm not gonna change them.
Okay, so what does this mean?
So this is, remember, this is the phase that you can occupy and the phase that you can fire into. The phase that you can occupy can be 0 up to the spike drive that you have. You guys have a spike
Okay.
in this ship, so it can be 0 to 2, and the farther off from where the people trying to shoot you are or get to you are, the harder it is for them to hit you. So just metagaming it, because I can do this. Cause
we'd want to choose 2 then, right?
Right. You guys are gonna want to phase into 2 immediately, and then if you're going to fire, which it doesn't sound like you guys are, but if you were, you would attempt to guess what he's occupying.
Okay.
In order to
So-
fire appropriately.
So we're definitely gonna choose 2.
Right. Yeah, and you guys can go ahead and right click on that and flip it over as well, because it doesn't matter. My cards are on the board.
Okay, and then I guess fire just into phase 0, which we're not really firing into anyways.
Right. Cool.
So
do
just
I even need to put that? Or
I mean,
just-
not really. No.
So I just put 2 for our where we're going.
I put it there anyways,
Yeah.
just for
You
funsies.
guys can just delete the cards that are still on the board that don't matter. Okay, cool. So, I think the scene that happens here is like you guys phase into phase 2, and that's gonna that's a reaction that he can identify. So he's going to be like, oh shit, they're gonna run away, but you guys get all your actions before that. So what's everybody gonna do? We'll start with the captain, right? Which is going to be
so to speak. Yeah.
Yeah, man, you're the captain. You got the best tactics.
Do it, man.
Yeah, Oscar just says, I think he just says, punch it, Go-Go.
Yeah, but
And
I mean, that's
what-
loud and clear to her.
Yeah, so, Oscar, so he gets on comms and he just says, hold on, Go-Go, punch it. And I'm going to use the full engine. So what that equates to is the full engines command, which is 0 combat points, difficulty 6. And what that does is bridge reroutes power, or rather surplus power to the engine department on successful wisdom tactics roll. Cost of any engine department command made that turn is reduced by 2 crew points.
Yep, absolutely. Cool. So so that is a difficulty 6 roll, and you get a wisdom tactics roll. So if you fail, though, I should talk about this.
Yeah.
You got to roll in the mishaps table, right?
Uh-huh.
And if that can obviously do bad things if you mess it up.
What are the odds? Okay, well, let's just see what I get first.
I mean, the worst case for the captain mishap is just the things cost more instead of less.
Nope.
Past it, no problem. So, the bridge route surplus power to the engine department. Any engine department command made this turn reduced by 2 crew points, subtracted after the department makes their skill check. Okay? So, with that being said, and I'll reveal these as well, so you guys can see them. They're in phase 0 and firing into phase 0 if they could get close enough to fire you, because they're currently out of range.
So I guess because that's really directed to both Boomer and Go-Go.
Right.
So like, it's kind of on Boomer after that to
So it's probably
like make
Boomer's choice then, right? So Boomer, what are you gonna do?
I'm gonna go with the full engine command. Wouldn't I?
And the
More power to the engines.
Chief engineer. All right, more power to the engines. So it's a difficulty 6 roll. It's a tech astronautics int. And you can
At the
boost
bottom of
engine
the page, it actually says that it's increased by 1
That's true.
for
You're right.
frigates.
Yeah, I did forget about that. It's increased by 1 aboard frigates. So you guys actually need to add 1 to all the difficulties. Should mention that. But you still passed because it was an 11 out of 7. So
yeah. Yep.
you're very clearly by.
The instruction was no room for interpretation was left.
Yep. Ooh. Hey, Willie.
I'm
you
gonna
got
use
a
my
reroll.
reroll. Yeah, I'm gonna use
Oh my god, Boomer.
We await the reroll.
Boomer's having
Big money.
deja vu.
Big money, no whammy.
Big money. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Boom.
Nice.
So yeah, so you hear punch it, and somehow in your brain you're like, okay, I got this. So Boomer, what does it look like when you're rerouting power to the engines?
He's just feeding the hooch back into the engine.
That's what I was expecting.
That's
but
exactly what I was gonna
going to
say.
see if he noticed it.
No, that is exactly what I was going to say. Is like at one point he actually turns the still back on, so the still's on full power and the drive core's on full power, and he just starts looping the energy between the two of them.
Cool. Yeah. So it starts to heat up, like it's starting to get like hotter in the thing, and you can see like the temperatures rising, but they're still within perfectly manageable levels. And go, it's that moment of like if you've ever driven like a really powerful car, you just feel it like
so
in the
much
pedals,
adrenaline happening
in the pedals and in the steering. So I guess
Basically, your turbo just spooled up,
yeah,
and you have all of the torque.
You have all of the torque. So what are you gonna? Well, actually, what's Fortune's command first? I think let's figure out what Fortune's gonna do. You said you're gonna do boatswain or comm officer.
Yeah. At this point, have we used any crew points?
Technically, no, because that last one was reduced by 2 because the tactics check was
Yeah.
passed, because the captain's check was passed. So no, not used any crew points.
So then stand ready won't do anything.
Right? Yeah, you can't regain any you don't have.
Yeah.
You could like get up and start running around like patching the hole and stuff. That's totally something you could do for Lance's up.
Yeah, or brace for impact.
Yeah,
As
brace for
well.
impact.
See if you can
It can only be used in once, though. It will remind you that.
Yeah.
And it's only for 1 round, so if you think that he's out of range now, you know that he's out of range. He's going to try and catch you, but and you know that as a fighter, he's probably a little bit faster than you. But if you guys can continue to increase your speed, you'll probably be able to get away.
With a 12?
Well, it only increases it by 1.
I know. I just like that he's like,
check.
yeah, I'll punch it.
I'll probably just do Lance's up.
Okay, so that will be a difficulty 7 because you're on a frigate.
Yeah, and it's
and
athletics. What am I rolling?
It is athletics constitution. Yeah, it's basically like you're using your physical ability to like bolt on panels and like reinforce things because shields are not a thing.
And it's assisted is nothing, right?
No, there's no assisted. If there were a second, ooh, okay, all right. So
Could I roll any worse? No.
that's a failure. So go ahead and roll 2d10, and we'll look at the department mishaps and see what happens.
The piloting mishaps, by the way, are so bad. Just so bad.
7. Okay, cutting pressures wild. The ship suffer 1d4 hit points of damage, ignoring armor. So roll a d4, and we'll see how much damage your ship suffers. 1, no problem.
They hold true. I'll just roll terrible for everything.
Okay, cool. So if we look at our ship in the character section, you'll notice there's the Apollo 254 right there. You guys have 20 hit points, so you're down to 19. No problem.
Oh no.
Freddy McFreightface has 19 out of 20 hit points. So yeah, maybe like Boomer, maybe you see like a pop-up like intermittent shorting activity located in docking bay 1 or whatever, and like the ship is reporting to you that it's taken minor damage.
You're probably yelling over the comms. Fortune, put down the welding torch.
Okay. So now we're gonna make a pilot check. Oh, and also that was 2 crew points for that one, because you still
1.
spend the crew points no matter what. Okay.
I think it was only 1.
One crew point down to the use section. All right.
Yeah, whatever Boomer did was reduced by 2.
Correct, and it costed 2.
Of course.
Right.
Yeah.
For him to do
Great.
it. So, pilot, what check are you going to make, and what command are you going to use?
So I'm definitely going to trim the course to up or increase our speed by 1 for 1 round,
Yeah.
and it's 2 crew points, and it's a difficulty 6, but it would be
Plus 1 because it's a frigate, so it's difficulty 7.
Yeah.
Yep. Luckily, you have really roll.
And yeah, and it's vehicle space right with intelligence.
Intelligence or dexterity, you actually get to choose.
Okay.
Because it doesn't specify. If it had specified, then if it had specified, then we would choose what it specified. But since it doesn't, it's intelligence or dexterity.
Well, I have the same in both, so it doesn't.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Either one, you choose. but it maybe story wise, you want to describe how you do it differently, right?
Sure. Yeah.
You know, like Dex Intelligence. Yeah, there you
Dex
go.
intelligence. Yeah. Hmm. Well, I feel like it's kind of a muscle memory thing. So my guess is I would go with dexterity.
Dexterity?
Just
Okay,
because,
cool. All right, let's see it. Oh my god.
All the win.
You just destroy it. The ship just inverts and almost just like blinks away from this thing, and it's still trying to like spool up its engines to catch you, and you're gone. So if we do our math,
That is why I messed up. I was not ready for that thrust, and my welding torch, I go flying.
That's a great point, right? Like even in the zero inertia of space,
Fortune goes
zero
fucking
gravity.
sailing toward the back of the room.
Right, you're like you probably like ran to the cargo bay or whatever, and you're like, okay, you're applying a patch to the interior, and then all of a sudden everything just shifts, and you're just like go tumbling down the cargo bay, like, trying to grab onto things, just dragging the welding torch still on down the cargo bay. There's a big square
absolutely.
on the side now.
Oh my god, that's so great.
Yeah.
Margot lets out like a war
I've been on the ship before.
She can.
I've never been on the ship going that fast before.
Right. Yeah. No. You were, and so again, let's do the math here. So you guys, the Apollo 254 has a speed of 2. You have increased it by 2, meaning you have a speed of 4. I will let you know that this guy has a speed of 3. So, because you passed both those checks, and also it's 2 crew points, right? We're gonna spend those real quick.
Yeah, it was 2.
Yep. Let's move those down there. Because you guys passed those checks, you're gaining distance, but you will have to continue to gain distance in order to get out of his direction, right? So you might have to go through another round or maybe a round after that of passing the skill checks and doing the thing in order to evade him. Lucky, he doesn't have crew. He has a single guy, so he doesn't get to do any cool commands, but he's essentially going to do the equivalent of fly as fast as possible. But he's currently not within range, and I think he has to make a check here, a pilot space check, to see if he can actually catch up with you guys, or to see if he can even stay in range or in lock of you in order to keep up. And it is a vehicle space roll based on that. No. So he is not doing well at trying to catch you, and you actually drift even further out of range. So I'm gonna say, since he didn't succeed in anticipating that, if you guys are able to outmatch his speed one more time, you will be able to get away. But remind you that he may not be the only ship in the area. Just an FYI.
Okay.
So yeah, cool. So you guys, it's back to the PC's turn. I assume you guys are going to stay in phase 2, fire in phase 0?
Yeah.
It's probably the safest. So we go back to what you guys want to do with your commands. Are we gonna do the same as we did last time?
I think Boomer's going to do the same thing.
Okay.
I think Oscar is probably astonished that the ship could even get up to this speed.
It's
and he's just gonna
what the speed is capable of currently.
He's probably concerned about even doing trying to turn the damn thing. So
luckily space is big and you can just fly straight and get
yeah. He just he's probably gripping onto the table, the desk, whatever, the panel in front of him. It says he comes down to Boomer and he just says, Boomer, whatever that was, more.
Sure, and that's the equivalent of full engines for you?
Yeah, that's just cool. again. So I'm going to make another.
Yep, difficulty 7 tactics roll with wisdom to to encourage Boomer to do better. Yeah, no problem. So Boomer, he's like, he's not guiding you because you're doing the whole thing, but like his commands are keeping you in a rhythm that allows you to work more efficiently.
Yeah, he's like trying to encourage him. He's like, Boomer, we're almost out of here.
Yeah,
like,
keep it up.
Let's go.
Just a few more minutes. Yeah, sure.
Let's see how misplaced that trust is.
All right, so Boomer, does that make it your turn? All right.
Sick.
So that was a difficulty 7, and that was for the power to the engines, right?
Yes.
More power to the engines. Okay, so you increase the speed by 1, so you guys are up to speed 3 for this round, which means you're matching the speed of the guy behind you. Go-Go or Fortune, who wants to go next? Go-Go, you want to see if you can roll it? Or Fortune, do you have something that you want to do besides burn the ship with a cutting torch?
Let's see if we can get away first, and then if we can't, I'll do something else.
Okay, fine.
So you're going to try and trim the course. Increase your speed by 1 for 2 crew points. I'll move those over. So you've used up half of them. And let's see. Nice.
It still passes.
You got it. Still pass. Yeah, absolutely. So like after the initial boost, the initial shock, like things are starting to. It probably is equivalent of things like starting to level out now, right? Like you're at a faster rate, and now like everything's caught up with itself. And you guys are
most importantly, Fortune.
Right. You guys are still gaining ground on the enemy guy. So Fortune, you like stand back up in the cargo bay or wherever you were trying to bolt some panels. You dust yourself off. What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna do the stand ready, lads, just in case.
Okay. And that's the one where you roll a check and then
I can gain a point back.
Points back, right? Okay.
Yeah.
And just so
I fail.
That's culture spacer Constitution.
Constitution. Yeah, and I failed.
Oh, you did. Okay. I actually don't know. Hold on one second. I don't know if the Stand Ready Lads actually takes a. I don't think those.
It doesn't show a difficulty, so I don't think I go on mishaps.
Correct. Yeah, you don't roll on mishaps when you do those regain points.
Yeah.
So what encouraging thing do you shout over the comms that doesn't actually encourage anyone?
Why are we going so fast? Or no, not why. How are we going so fast?
Right. Yeah. Sure. And Gogo's probably just like putting in her earphones with her hard rock jazz. And, like,
yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
Boomer's
already
just
happened.
like drinking hooch while filling the engine up with hooch. And like, yeah, you're doing great. Great job. There, Fortune. Your space combat is totally your thing.
Yeah, obviously not. Well, I just think combat in general is not my thing, apparently, which I'm a warrior, but I just can't hit anything or do anything in combat.
It's all right.
So,
you killed some werewolf zombies, so it's fine.
I did.
Cool. So you guys are going to be able to evade this guy as long as possible. This guy will not be able to catch you, and I think that he realizes that, and you probably see on the sensors that he breaks off. But I think that also you see that there are more incoming contacts. When he breaks off and realizes he's not going to be able to catch you, it's clear that he's maybe radioed somebody or comms to somebody. And you can see that there are there's 2 more contacts coming in, and they're on kind of like an intercept course with you. So what you could do is you could like go straight at one and maybe evade the other one, or you can like try and evade both.
Jordan.
It's going to be far harder to do that.
Jordan.
Yeah.
I am going to use the "You Magnificent Bastard" ability, and we're going to go directly in between them.
Okay. The only problem with you magnificent. Oh no, it costs 4. Yeah, you could totally do that.
Yep.
Okay. Cool. So we start the round, and there's 2 more in pursuit of you. It's probably going to be harder to evade both of them, but you're going to try and use "You Magnificent Bastard." And reading that, it says, having maneuvered the enemy into a perfect position, the captain springs the trap, checking against wisdom tactics for the command test. Only the captain's ship can act or fire this round. This command can be issued only once in a given combat. So basically, you're going to attempt to just put them behind you. And so what is your plan here, like fluff-wise, not necessarily mechanical-wise?
Yeah,
Are you gonna like
You
have
know,
them
like,
crash into
every-
each other as you?
Yeah, every
Yeah.
speeder bike race
Mhm.
ever,
Yeah.
where you do the evasive maneuver and they, like, the ships collide with one another
Yeah.
in spectacular fashion.
Absolutely.
That's what he's doing.
So what does that look like? Is that you like telling Gogo like to hold on, and you giving Boomer commands, and then coordinating between Boomer and Gogo to do the engine thing and the
I
fire
think
off thing
this
at the
is
same time?
just I think this is just Go-Go, and I think they're probably both like looking at the panel, and they both notice that we got two more on us,
Right.
and Oscar just says, like, dead between them. Let's go.
Yeah. You do like the hold.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
cool. Yeah. So roll.
Exactly.
It's gonna be
Everyone's seen that particular scene.
Yep.
They're
Absolutely. So give me a difficulty 8. You magnificent bastard check.
Oh my god.
I'm so
Okay.
ready for it.
Yep.
Please.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Yes.
Nice, a 9. So yeah, so
Awesome.
so exactly as you described, you're like you hold up your hand, like Gogo like looks at you, and you hold up your hand, and she's like, Gogo, you're probably like, what the hell is this guy talking about? And then you realize what he's trying to do. So you have to focus on piloting, right? Like you can't like try and make it yourself. And then he drops his hand and gives you the command, and you pull up, and one ship tries to careen upward and one ship tries to careen downward, and they clip each other, and they see them just go spinning off into space. Into just opposite directions, just flaming like fire coming from behind them, and you guys like take off into the night sky and sail off into the stars, and you don't have any more contacts after you, and you've evaded the defense force of Paphos.
Awesome.
Ow.
Woohoo! And now we jump drive.
So yeah, so right. So on average, it takes about 6 hours to get the edge of a system, roughly about that. But throughout your course, right, there's no more like stations or anything. Like there's no other ships to try and come after you. You took off in a respectable enough and quick enough fashion that they weren't able to scramble anything else besides like their local defense force. And yeah, you guys eventually reach the edge, and so I guess it's time to go check out the map, because you guys are going to not the location you I think were going to go originally. You're going to go to 707, right, and drop off.
Correct.
Your
Correct.
Your pirate friend now. Okay.
I wouldn't say friend, but sure, yeah.
I mean, he's going to pay you. He's kind of like a friend.
Is he gonna pay us, Jordan?
He is now.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
Pirates live to a certain code.
That is true. And these pirates at least seem to have morals.
So, well, it's either morals or he gets jettisoned into space.
Yeah, okay.
I mean,
Reasonable. Yeah, cool. So, you guys get up there, and are you going to make the double jump, Go-Go? Or are you going to...
God, no.
You're going to go a
I
single
don't
jump
think
to
it's taken
607?
at this point, man.
Okay, cool.
We've exhausted all of our luck today.
Yeah,
everyone except for me.
and because you have exhausted all of your luck, I will give this to Boomer. Boomer, it's probably a good idea if you turn off your message carrying. Because otherwise, if there was a message sent from the planet to be on the lookout for your ship, it's going to go with you.
Yes, I absolutely do that.
Yeah, it's as simple as flicking a switch. I'll give you guys that. I'm not gonna screw you with some weird bullshit like, oh, now everybody knows you're fucking criminals. Because most other places won't care, right? Like they're like, oh, that's the Paphos government. We don't care about them. Like we're under a different set of laws. You piss them off, that's your own bad. We don't care as long as you don't cause any trouble here. But it is generally, you are technically working for Westwind Corporation. So, you guys are going to jump to 607. So, if we go over to the rules here, by the way, congratulations on quote-unquote winning your first space battle. I'm really proud of you guys.
That was actually really fun.
Wasn't it?
That was.
Yeah.
I did enjoy that a lot. Even though I fucked us up, I did enjoy that.
And some of the things you can do are so cool, like reading through all of them.
That's
It's
part
so
of the
sick.
flavor, right? That's the fucking things up is part of like an accurate description of what happens in a impromptu space battle, right? Like,
Yeah.
shit's pretty awesome. I like it.
So we need to make one jump.
Yes, you're going one jump to 607, which I assume you're not. Well, I mean, I guess I should ask: are you going to attempt to trim the course to 607? Go. It gives you a +1 on the difficulty if you do.
I mean,
What
do
does
we
that
need
gain us?
to? Yeah, like, do we need to get there fast? There's really no.
I mean, you already have a
wait.
Spike 2 drive, so you're gonna get there probably twice as fast as most other ships in the sector. But I don't know where your character's head is as far as being chased by, planetary defense forces.
Are you still in the go-go mode? Is what
Right?
he's asking.
Are you still driving as fast as possible?
Her pupils are still really dilated, but her grip on the console has kind of loosened, and I think she's back to.
You also have this really hot, half-clothed guy behind you. Just saying.
It's true.
God, I would love to know what his thoughts were when all that just went down, but that's fine.
I mean, you guys are gonna have 2.5 days to figure it out as you travel to, or 3.5 days to figure it out as you travel to 607.
Okay, no, I'm just gonna do a normal jump.
Cool.
607.
Difficulty 6,
regular.
and you get the additional +2 because of the nav computer.
Can anybody else help with that?
No,
I don't need
there is no help on.
Who
the
needs the
navigation.
help?
Okay.
Yeah,
She got a
no
12.
problem. So yeah, you punch in the navigation check.
Listen.
And is there a witty one-liner from GoGo as you depart the system?
Oh, probably just later, boys.
Later, boys. And then, we get the multicolored image of drive space flashing behind you. So, you guys have 3.5 days to kind of unwind from all of that nonsense, figure out what the hell actually happened, first of all. You guys aren't really sure why the Planetary Defense Force was coming after you in the first place. But you have a
Boomer and Gogo think it was for them. Oscar and Fortune think it was for them.
or vice versa, right? Like
Yeah.
you and Oscar think it was for the color guy, and
Oh no, Fortune definitely knows it's for us.
okay.
I'm not that naive.
Okay, cool. So yeah, you guys have 3.5 days. What kind of conversations happen? Does anybody do anything in particular to?
I think we should probably call a meeting where we all meet in the meeting room
Yeah.
and
think-
discuss everything.
Oscar, if a meeting is called, Oscar would probably ask around the ship to be like, so it's been a while before Oscar, since Oscar has been in a situation like that, which is to say, actually
Space
commanding
right?
commanding a ship.
Yeah.
Been a while. He's probably a little on edge, and he would ask around if like anyone had something worth drinking.
Oh, I think we all do, actually.
I think at the exact same moment, everyone provides a flask.
All three at once.
Yeah.
Great. He grabs one of them, and he politely accepts Boomer's flask and just kind of has it with him while they go to the meeting room.
Sure. Yep. Okay, so you guys head over to the meeting room and you get inside, and what occurs while you're in there?
Verbal diarrhea dump.
Sure.
This is everything that happened.
Yeah. Verbal dump about how, like, hey, that guy we brought on that we locked up in that holding cell, which, by the way, somebody should probably check on him with all the flying and shit that's been going on.
Yeah,
I'm sure
that was the
at
next
some point, right? Like
that was the next step
this is
after the
literally-
meeting.
This is literally right after drive space.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you guys have, verbal diarrhea, like, hey, the pirate guy, I guess they were actually trying to stop all the slavery that was going on, so we decided to take him back to his place for more money than we were originally going to get paid. And in addition, the whole thing about, like, the colorless individual was trying to sneak onto the ship he said something about getting away, like taking him away, and he's got this weird thing that doesn't pop up on any of the scanners or diseases or anything, or like that kind of stuff.
And we mentioned the person who takes collar off is going to die.
Yeah. So
Oscar brings that
so
up
you
again.
mentioned
Let's bring
Yeah.
that up like immediately, right? Like so when we get to that point, that's what that is.
Also, Jordan, I sent you a message on Discord. I need
Okay.
clarification.
Sorry, my Discord isn't giving me notifications again for some reason.
No, don't worry about it.
Also, Jordan, everything else that
oh,
Boomer does in
yeah,
the free
no.
time.
Trust me, I have something for that, Matt. Don't worry.
Great. Okay.
Yeah, I was fully aware of what was going on there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Oscar at some point, some natural point, he revisits the whole like, he's going to die, right?
Right. Yeah.
And then he clarifies like the collar, they become dependent. Perhaps not like a drug, but they need it to survive after they've been after whatever happens to them.
Well, honestly, at this point, he belongs to Gogo. I mean, Gogo, what are you going to do with him? I mean, if he croaks because he doesn't have the collar
Where's
on,
your gift?
my gift, but it's mine.
She just holds out her hand.
Boomer, it will kill you.
That's not the point. The point is, it's mine.
Boomer, and she like stamps her foot.
I am not some dog that you have trained on command. And like as he's saying this,
Boomer,
he's pulling
going
out the
to
box
die.
and
I will
putting it
get
in
you
her hand.
another one, please. Yeah, exactly. She just takes it.
Right. Yeah. So I mean,
assume
Oh my
he's
God.
not in the meeting room. I wouldn't have had him. I would have put him back in the med bay. So I just take it and I'll.
he
go
will
deal with
go
that later.
wherever you tell him to go.
Exactly.
Gogo.
I would have said stay here, and then I would have gone to the meeting. So
Yeah, and I
I'll
think that-
handle that later.
I think that yeah, when you get back, he's standing literally in the exact same spot that you told him to stand in. Like when you gave him that command, he's literally standing the exact same way that he was in that exact same spot.
When Gogo leaves, Oscar just looks to Boomer and Fortune and he asks, do you think he can cook?
Boomer just laughs.
Fortune just laughs.
Oscar is dead serious. He's like,
And that makes it all the more
he
funny.
wants, like, he looks at both of you as you're chuckling and he doesn't understand why you're laughing.
And I'd probably laugh harder.
Yeah.
Fortune would definitely start laughing harder, finding it that you don't find it funny.
I'm sure that if Gogo told him to cook something, he would learn how to cook very quickly.
Perhaps, yeah, and he qualifies it a little, like, well, perhaps he could learn.
Yeah. Yes. I'm. Yes.
I'm wiping tears from my eyes, and I take a swig
Yeah.
from my flask.
Yeah, so I guess all the while Oscar is also he's got a little like induction straw on his mask, and he's also
it's
like
straight
taking little sips from it's straight up Corian.
up. Yep, straight up Corian, exactly. Yeah, don't worry, nothing happens to you right now.
At the moment.
And just for anyone who's unaware, the hooch that he makes is actually made from, and it's made from the like aftershocks of the spike drive, which actually is what drills into drive space, which has a lot to do with like the psychic ability of certain
like
people.
Metadimensional distillate.
Yeah, it's metadimensional distillate, which is metadimensional extroversion syndrome is what creates psychics in this world. So a psychic drinking metadimensional discharge may have some interesting effects, which I think
Possibly amplifies your powers.
Because nobody told Oscar what this shit
Nope.
was, right?
Nope, nobody told Oscar what the shit was.
We just said Boomer makes it. and we drink it.
Okay.
Yep, basically.
Yes.
Cool.
So after the meeting, I would definitely go have a conversation with said pirate captive.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Everything Boomer's gonna do during the cruise, I put in Roll20 chat.
Okay. Yeah. No problem. You can also put it in your notes as well on your character sheet. That works too. But yeah, I like the drafts report of Apollo 254 stolen, and then another report recovered by Westwind agents. That was good. So you guys, you go have a conversation with Victor. So Fortune,
Yes.
you arrive there and you're having a conversation with Victor. What do you say?
Well, I show up completely unarmed. We're on the ship. I feel safe.
Yeah, for sure. You show up unarmed and you like put the key code in to open the door, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you see him in there. He's just kind of like laying on the bed, staring up at the ceiling. And you can see that like clearly like stuff has like been rearranged, but forcefully, probably when like the ship like, you know, lurched forward, and he's like just hasn't bothered to put it back. And you walk in and he kind of like sits up and he's like, "Finally come to feed me? I'm pretty hungry."
Oh yeah. So that comes with money. Like acting like I did it on purpose, but I just completely
sure. And I think that he's like, it's no problem. I have some liquid funds, but I think that if I am guessing correctly, we are in drive space. It's hard to contact SectorNet when we are in drive space. As soon as we come out of
Understood.
jump, I can transfer at least half over to you.
That's not a problem. And when will we get the other half?
He's like, when we arrive at my system, I'll be able to get in touch with contacts. They can forward you the rest of money.
And as you know, I wouldn't necessarily say hostage situations, but a transfer at the same time would be preferable.
Well, just listen. I would advise that when arriving in system, perhaps I not be locked in room, otherwise I think we all die. So if I am able to talk with the hails that come in from Gizikis, I can arrange for me to be either, if you would like, transfer in space drive, if you would like me to bring me to planet, whichever is preferable to you. You are in charge here, but money will be transferred before I disembark. I can make that happen.
Okay, that's acceptable. And yeah, we can. I don't really feel like landing right now. We'll need to get back out quickly. We've got other places to be.
He's like, because if they transfer money and you do not give me up, they probably just kill all of us, and then that's not beneficial to anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I bet you are looking for Stanley.
So I'd say we okay. That's all right.
Okay, cool. So if that
We've come to an agreement, and I go get food.
If that ends that conversation, you bring him food back, and he hastily scarfs it down. Right, he's hungry.
And I show him a button on the wall. I said, if you need anything else, push that button.
Yeah, sure, like the intercom button. He nods as he's like shoving, whatever slop you've given him in his mouth.
Well, whatever
the rations are on the ship. Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say whatever slave guy has figured out how to cook by now.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. So what else happens during that 3.5 days of travel before you get to the 607 system?
Margot's obviously gonna go talk to No Name guy currently.
Yeah. But
I have an unspent skill point.
You do?
Can I use it to learn? Yeah.
Okay.
Can I use it to learn at least spending enough time with him to talk to him?
Like language?
Yeah.
Like you could go put it into language? Sure. Is that enough for you to get it up to, I think it is, right? To get it up to, from -1 to 0 in language?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, I will say if you spend your point in that, you can have a basic, like, dialogue with him.
Very basic.
Yeah, very basic, like, commands and, Like, you're not going to be getting the guy's life story.
No.
But
enough
yeah.
to like not have to use a stupid compad just to say.
Right, yeah, enough to avoid the Spoogle translate barrier that you've been currently using. Yeah, I would say over the course of 3.5 days is enough to like get that locked down. We have this short montage, I think, of like teaching him words in English and teaching, him like relating words back to you. And the farther and farther away you get from like once you're in drive space, and like he was there when you guys like jumped into drive space. When like probably the first thing that happened, like when you got up from your chair eventually, because you're probably sitting in the chair for a while, as soon as you got up, he probably did the whole like got down on his knees and put his hands in front of his head and put his forehead on the ground, and started worshiping you again.
I would say stop and never do that again.
Sure, yeah, you figure it out, and like he's visibly confused, and like there's a moment where like he's kind of shaking a little bit, like he doesn't. His body and mind are so confused as to what to do. It's just like shutting down certain systems. Like he's just like, I don't understand. Like if he were an armature, it would be the do not compute message scrolling across his eyes, and like sparks flying, and like steam coming out of the ears, trying to figure out what the hell to do. But I think like he gets up, still doesn't make eye contact, but he's like still. That's probably the extent of like what you're able to train him not to do, because he probably still like uses all the terms and like doesn't make eye contact. He doesn't even look at you ever. He is like the most of you he's probably seen after that initial recognition is the tops of your boots. No, the tops of her boots is probably the most that he has ever seen. But yeah, you can totally learn language. So what? Beyond like doing the commands and stuff, like what do you want to have him do? Because to be fair, Gogo, he's gonna listen to you. You've already told him to listen to everything Boomer says. Would you do that for like the other 2 crew members as well?
No. I don't trust them enough to order him around.
Okay, yeah. So like whenever Fortune or Oscar are in the room, like with him, maybe without Gogo, he just like stands silently doing whatever he was doing, and if you ever talk to him, he just blatantly ignores you. You do not exist to him because his overseer has not allowed you to exist.
Okay.
Also,
Also,
I probably death stare him whenever we're in a room together, and after like the first couple of hours, when I realize it's not doing anything, I just pretend he doesn't exist either.
Right? Yeah. That's exactly what happens.
Whenever Gogo is not looking, Oscar slips him like a tablet with a bunch of cookbooks loaded onto it. And just leaves him, like, just sets it next to him and then leaves without giving him any manner of instruction.
Right. So Gogo, you eventually like come back to see how he's doing, and there's just like a tablet open to cookbooks that are like scrolling by, and he's just he ignored it. He hasn't touched it at all. It doesn't exist in his mind, but he's just doing whatever you instructed him to do or whatever you told him to do. But you just like randomly find like these little data slabs of cookbook information next to him on occasion.
Totally. Oh god. I jettison the data slab if I see that.
Yeah, you just take the like data. You just take the data stick and just like shove it in the jettison pile and just.
I just am like, boop, done.
the effective equivalent of a garbage disposal. You just throw it down the garbage disposals. That's great.
Of all options, I find that the best.
So yeah, Gogo, what do you have him do?
Okay, so 2 things. First thing, I would learn the word name and ask him his.
So you ask him his name and he's confused. In fact, it seems like he doesn't understand the concept. Like, you do the whole, like, point at yourself, say, go.
My name, yeah, exactly.
And then you point at him, and he doesn't understand the concept. He's just not getting it.
I would probably say something like, you don't have one?
Yeah, and he probably replies, like, let's see, how would he reply? He probably says something like, Yeah, I think he says a word in Farsi, and like maybe you're not quite there yet. You got to look up the compad, and it's essentially the word for slave, and he points to himself. But he's not using it as a name; he's using it as a designator.
Margot to herself is just like, well, that won't do. And then I think she would go on her compad and find a website that has all of this list of top male names.
top male.
Translate it.
Top male slave names.
Yeah.
Names.
That's actually a .net, and it directs you to a website that you probably didn't want on your compad.
Yeah, and then I immediately X out of it like a million times, and then try again.
Mm-hmm.
Boomer,
aka male name generator.
Yeah, basically. And then I make sure it's in his, I translate it to his language, and I just kind of slide it to him and say, pick one.
Yeah, so popular male Middle Eastern names, basically.
Yeah. No, actually, I probably, because me as Gogo would have picked Western names.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, so generic baby names from
Mark or things like that. Yeah.
And I think that he looks at it, and he looks confused. You say pick one, and he doesn't understand that concept either.
I start reading them off to him.
I think that after you say each one, he nods. After you say every single one, he just nods.
It's gonna take a long time to unfuck his mind.
And I think that Margot realizes she's not getting frustrated with him or anything, because I think she gets what the heck is going on. At least she thinks. I doubt that she really does.
And just to be clear, you put the collar on him, right?
Oh no, I still have that in my pocket.
Okay.
I haven't breached that subject with him yet.
Yeah, I thought you
Don't worry.
I thought you took it with the
it would
intent
have happened.
Putting it on him.
No, I'm going to. I'm going
Okay.
to, but I want to do this first. I'm trying to spend a few hours gaining his trust before all of a sudden I'm like, here's your collar again.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. So I think that it's hard for him to grasp, right? And you maybe you just get frustrated because he's just not saying anything. And then he probably starts coughing, and you see there's spittle of blood on his lips when he's done. But he's still maintaining perfect posture and demeanor. And he probably says, you probably know this word by now. He probably says, I apologize to the Farseer or to the Overseer for my sin against humanity. Please forgive me, Overseer. And you know that phrase now very well.
And I would obviously say something like, not Overseer, Margot. You must call me Margot.
He's as the Overseer commands.
And she slams her fist on the chair, and she's just whatever. And then I think that she tries to she thinks for a moment as to how to breach this subject with him. And I think that she would say something like, you're sick. How long have you been sick? And I point to the blood that's on his hand or whatever he just coughed up, right?
I think that he does that's something he understands, because ostensibly when diagnostics are run on machines, they spit out a reading that says I have been sick for X amount of time, and that's essentially what he is, right? And he says I have been feeling unwell since my greatest sin against humanity. And I think he says, my greatest sin against humanity, Overseer Gogo.
You cut out.
Yeah, you cut out.
He said, I have been ill since my greatest sin against humanity, Overseer Gogo.
She just lets it go because it's really not important right now. And then I guess she would. I know that he probably won't be able to explain this, but she says something like greatest sin against humanity, because she clearly knows that now. And she kind of motions to her neck as if she's undoing something, and then takes it off and gestures is that
he doesn't
what
look
you
at your
mean?
face because he doesn't look at anything above your boots.
I draw it on my compad and slide it under his face.
Yeah, you do like
In,
the
like,
whole
Paint.
thing, taking the collar off.
Google Paint.
He shakes his head no. Roll me a persuasion check based on charisma. I want to see like if you can break through a little bit to this guy. You might be able to.
Not with a -1 in persuade.
We don't know. We'll see. Stranger rolls have happened.
Okay, because I'm like the only person that is being nice to him ever, do I get like any bonus?
I will give you a +1 for great role play.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oscar will come assist.
Like I'm
I'll
literally
give you-
I'm being
you-
nice to him. I'm not
I'll give
making
you a
him-
+1 for
Okay.
the superior role play over the past couple of minutes.
And it's based on
Charisma.
yeah.
Nope,
Oh,
not a 5. I think that.
Wait. Right?
You didn't. Oh yeah, you didn't use your
use my
reroll.
other
Yep,
one.
you can
No, I
totally
didn't
reroll
have
it. Yep, absolutely. Go ahead. Let's see it. I'm so ready.
You know, maybe Oscar
Darn.
Oscar
That sucks.
did totally try and help, and that's why she like
Right,
got
yeah.
nowhere. Like
You just intimidate the crap out of him.
no, like maybe Oscar just comes back in the room with another cookbook.
Yeah. So
And he's like,
So actually, I
just
think
at the
I think
worst
here's
possible moment.
right. Yeah. Here's what happens though. I think you
Sure.
see. I think you see his like hands like twitch for a moment, like kind of like convulse outward, and then he starts like saying very softly, and he's like starts like rocking slightly back and forth, and he's he starts low, and then he builds up, and then he starts screaming, "I have sinned" in his language, and just is screaming it at the top of his lungs, and he falls on the ground and begins to seize. And he's like clearly having an episode, and it's harming him in some way. What do you do, Go-Go?
I immediately put the collar on him.
Yeah, cool. So the scene is you push him down, and everybody hears this. So I assume everybody like goes running in, right, to wherever she is.
Yeah. With the revolver, yeah.
Yeah, like revolver out, like sword out. Like,
I don't understand what he's screaming.
Yeah, and like you put the collar on, and it, you click it into place, and after like a few seconds, like the convulsing stops, and his eyes like flutter for a moment, and you can see, I think like just after like a few minutes of like calming him down, you get him like sitting back up, you can see the skin around his neck begins to become a more normal color. And I think that's a perfect place to cut it off for the session.
Go-Go should know better than to get attached.
Like, that's not even funny, guys. That's horrible.
He became your favorite. This is what happens. This is what happens.
I want my quote to be read in what's his name? The guy who did wow, I'm losing my mind. Alright, I'll get back to you.
Okay.
Where are you going with this?
Cool. Awesome. Hope you all enjoyed that. That was a lot of fun. If you could do me a favor, players, stay for like 5 minutes. I got a couple things. But I'm gonna close out real quick. Okay.
Yep. GG.
GG. Hello, stream. Thank you very much for showing up. I'm so sorry about the audio issues. I will have them resolved by Wednesday, which happens to be our next game. We're actually playing 2 games this week because we're taking a little bit of a hiatus because Devin, aka Fortune, is going on a cruise. That sick bastard. So we're going to be playing again on Wednesday at 5 p.m. EST. Hope to see you there. If you want to catch up on previous episodes, you can go to YouTube at youtube.com/MakeItGames, or just search Make It Games on YouTube. I think that's better because I don't think I'm cool enough to actually have my URL. Eventually, maybe, if I get awesome. But I had a hell of a lot of fun today. Got some space combat in. It went awesomely. I love that system. We'll definitely be using some more of that for sure. Other than that, hope everyone enjoyed. We'll catch you next time on Olympus Rises.